Welcome to episode 33 of Pineapples and Thorns. I'm Kat, and with me tonight is Fado and Peter. Hey, guys.
Greetings.
Hello, Kat. Hello, Fado.
Howdy.
Happy Canada Day, Peter, and I guess happy 4th of July, Fado.
Thank
you
you very much.
Celebrating hard this weekend?
Yeah, we're going to be shooting fireworks up north, shooting them across the border, trying to light you guys on fire. I think that's what we do, show how great we are.
Awesome.
Make sure you aim for the right places, right? So, Peter, do you want to dive right into CFF news?
Sure do. Please sign up for the Royal Rumble. That will be July 10th. That's next Sunday. We're doing Town Hall 9. I think there's going to be stiff competition there. I hear so many people think they have a chance at winning this. I think we all have loved Town Hall 9 in some way, shape, or form. Kat, what attack will you likely use?
Probably going to be Queen Charge Lalo, I'm sure.
Lalo. Okay, C-note, take a note there. Make a Lalo defensive base.
I love my witches.
Yes, witches. Okay, good. I actually seriously am going to use Lalo, but mine's a golem thing. Fado, do you still have a 9, or is yours?
I actually do have a max 9, yes.
And have you signed up for the Royal Rumble, or will you be baseballing next Sunday?
I'm definitely baseballing next Sunday.
Fair enough. Okay. We'll have to just do an inter-clan FC challenge with Town Hall 9s. The next thing is there's an event coming in the CFF. We're going to call it Beat the Heat. We're going to require you to use 2 ice golems with your first attack and an ice hound with your second attack. So a little bit of ground, a little bit of air. I think Magnus said he's going to use both in both attacks just because he needs to learn only one thing at a time. So that's his cure for that. So if you're in the CFF, please sign up for that. We're doing 10 halls, 14, 13, and 12.
Yep.
Mostly because Icehound is big, and you can't just get that in any old CC. So
a lot of fun.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. Should be good. It's the start of my holidays, so hopefully we can get a streamer and we can start the party early.
Exactly.
C2J, still looking for signups for their Legends League push. Green Arrow and Knob are going to try to dominate Australia clans. We're going to all push as high as we can, jump into one clan, and then see how high we can get. And then we'll do a fun more at the end. So jump into the C2J server and sign up for the August push. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, and SCWL has started as of today. I don't know if the war started in Redthorn yet. We spun at 5 o'clock? So I don't think it started yet.
It took forever to match in Redthorn.
Yes, as always. I got my first triple though in Phoenix Reloaded, so that was good.
Yeah.
Get the monkey off my back.
Nice.
One for the week. I'm done.
Well, I'm done.
Yeah. Do you think it's better to spin that early or late?
I don't know. Some clans like to spin early in the morning, when it first starts, and there's like different schools of thought on that. If you spin early, you're going to get matched up with tougher clans, because everybody's super keen to get that underway. Other people feel that if you spin later on the first day that, you might get a more balanced matchup. And I haven't really, being in all 14s, it really hasn't made any impact on us, but I think it might matter more to clans that are running a mixed breakdown, perhaps.
Right. But you remember Catfish, the month before we had the shortened week, they spun late, I believe, and only ended up with 7 clans. Or sorry, it normally is 7 clans. No, it's normally 8 clans. So they ended up with fewer clans anyway. I don't remember. I think they only had 6 clans, so they only had 5 wars. So they had a shortened week because there wasn't enough clans to match up. It did put them in a grouping at the end. However, just a smaller group. So
it's interesting.
Positive and negatives there, I think. I hate to get eliminated in a short week just because you spun late.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would really be bad.
I would still really like to see that 5-day CWL. Darian, if you're listening, please. 5 days.
Pretty sure in the Judosloth interview, they didn't think there's no thought to change it again. So
I know. We keep asking because sometimes they do listen to the community at large, and it may not happen right away, but maybe down.
It may.
let's talk about managing SCCWL, because we all enjoy putting teams together and organizing it so very much. What are some positives that you've encountered, Peter? Because you're our guru.
I think people still really want those medals. You know, we're all still optimistic that Town Hall 15 is going to happen. It's going to be this
Mhm.
year. I think some of us spent some of those medals on builder potions when the clan capital first dropped. So I think some of us would like to restock that supply. So I think there's still interest in it. This month, particularly, it seemed like people forgot that we were going to do SCWL. I guess it's somewhat the summer holidays, right? Kids are just out of school if they're in, primary grades. I don't know.
It wasn't
I
because
just
Magnus and I were organizing it this month. Because
put up the sign up in the
You were
normal
busy.
time, right? Right around when clan games drop. Not too early so people forget, but not so late that it's a scramble for us. And
Yeah.
we had some late signups. I guess the biggest struggle is knowing who you can designate to another clan. Because again, and I'm going to say this is, like a first world problem, but Red Thorn's back in champs again, so we can only run 15. And that means in order to accommodate all our accounts, or all of our members' accounts, we have to split up. So,
Yeah.
that'd be
But-
super if Supercell could say, drop that 15 member
Yeah.
limit in champs. Because there's no reason to have champs one's clans anymore, right? They're not getting a golden ticket or an opportunity anymore. So it's kind
Yeah.
of lost its prestige. I don't know what the right
Yeah.
word is. Yeah.
Lester?
Luster. So let us
Yeah.
war all together. Let us war as our clan again.
It would be nice because, especially with the capital raid weekends, everybody wants to be in clan and doing their raids and donating their capital loot to upgrading the various tiers. And if half the clan is out, well, they're having to hop back and forth. And then there's always the danger, if people have alts that they're, somebody on their main account may not get a chance to do raids because you can only have 50 people, right?
Right.
Yeah, and
So,
yeah, that makes it really interesting. I have a couple of clan capital observations. I'll hold till later.
please dive in.
Sure. Couple quick things. So, just watching it unfold, like, and watching how it's going. One of the biggest beefs that I've come up with is the way you rank your team. Like, it'll show who got the most capital gold and blah blah blah. And I kind of complained about this on the last one, and I'm going to go even stronger. My complaint is it's even worse because people see that and they're like, well, there's this 93% base out there I could finish off and let us all keep advancing. But there's only like 800 capital gold on it, and that would bring my like potential max capital gold and thus my clan ranking. It would kind of limit what I could do. So I'm just going to leave that out there.
Right.
And so I have two accounts in Red Thorn. So one of mine I was just like the crash test dummy on one of the I was like, well shoot, so okay. Base 1 was like 800, base 2 700, base 3 was like 300. I was like, well, I can't no it's either this or not hit. So I'm just going to do it. And so yeah, I heard a major content creator complaining about this as well, but didn't state that reason. But I'm stating the darn reason.
It's funny because I also cleared, I think, a 93 and maybe an 88
Mhm.
with one of my accounts. Because, yeah, like you said, you just want to keep advancing the clan. So
Mhm.
just, yeah.
We there was a really funny one where there's someone in the clan who is a co-leader who will remain unnamed, who he had like a 99, and
Oh.
then there was a cannon in the opposite corner that had like half health, and his troops just arrived at it when the clock stopped.
Oh,
no.
It was like a
heartbreaker.
night, and so we both had a huge laugh about it in chat. But it stinks because that means like you're one, you someone has to do an attack for like, I don't know, 80 capital gold.
That's right.
One archer.
Yeah,
Plus
so
the bone,
yeah, the bonus is next to nothing at that
it
point,
isn't
right?
proportional, is it? No.
No,
Yeah.
no, and they really should, figure out a way to either change that or I don't know, maybe even eliminate your clan, individual stuff altogether. Like hide it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because it incentivizes people to do things that actually end up kind of being selfish.
Right, and it is supposed to be a team event, right? So it
Mhm.
should just be team stats up there, perhaps,
Yeah,
instead of individual stats.
yeah, and this isn't me whining that I'm not at the top of the leaderboard. I could give two cruds about it,
Mhm.
but you know, it does cause like it can allow. Oh, it opens the door for like selfish behavior. I'm not saying people are intentionally self. People could be done with their sixth attack and you know left it at 89 or 94% or whatever,
Sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
whatever. But you know, it. I know it's happening elsewhere, not in Redthorn, and I know it's got to be frustrating. And it
Yeah,
just the wrong incentive is there.
that's a good point.
What attack are you
So
using now in Capital? Cat?
me,
Yeah.
depends on the base, and what kind of buildings are up.
Hmm.
Generally, I'll use like a lot of the what are they called, sneaky archers,
Yes.
and maybe a couple of giants. I have been playing around with that mountain golem. He's super slow,
The
but he's
animation is amazing, isn't it? I
it
really
is.
like just watching him plod along. I zoom right in. He's really cool.
And you know, if you take two rages and you kind of place him correctly, you can get a lot out of him before he slows down and you have
Yeah,
to go
yeah.
get a cup of coffee and come back and
Just make
walk him
sure he
across
doesn't
space.
run into like an inferno. Like I
Yeah.
think that my biggest beef with some of the more powerful troops is they take up over half your camp. Like
Hmm.
you know, and in the regular old class, you're like, shoot, okay, I got a golem. That's 10% of my army, and I'm going to support it with this, that, the other. Even back in Town Hall 9 days, it's a golem and wizards to funnel. Like here, like that mountain golem is what 160, and
160, yeah.
we
Yep.
have 215, so that leaves like 11 raged barbs. Come on, man. You
Yeah.
know what I like? So there's got to be a better balance to that, so that you can actually use him both as like the
Hmm.
destroyer of worlds he is, but also as like a better tank.
Yeah. I mean, he is just so powerful.
Because
There's
yeah, we're
very little that will take him down.
right, but we're not even at the point where we could bring two cannon carts with one golem.
Right.
You know what we can do though is we can bring 2 gunships. That was a lot of
Yes.
fun. That was a lot
Yeah.
of fun. I tried that today or Friday night maybe, I don't remember now. I mean, it's interesting. You get them both under rage and they plow through stuff. And the
Yeah,
skeletons build up.
and if you have like Kat said, it's base dependent. Like if you have all the infernos down and you just bring like even 2 heal spells,
Hmm.
those guys will just crush a base slowly but surely.
Slowly, yes.
It is fun to play with some of that stuff.
Yeah, I think it's too skewed to ground troops right now though.
Yeah.
Yes, there seems to be a heck of a lot of air defenses still.
And those, what I can't remember what they're called. Those rocket things that shoot. Those things are
The
just
rapid
wicked.
rockets, yeah.
Yes, that's them. They're pretty wild.
I remember seeing the clan capital on the agenda, Cat. So pardon the
It's not.
digression.
It's
It's a
but
Here I go.
big part of
I,
Redthorn still though.
I'm here to sink this podcast.
so let's talk about the balancing changes then. There's a few things that we talked a little bit about on the last show, but now we've had about a week or so to play around with some of the more major changes, and let's talk about a little bit how they've been impacting you, or have they impacted you? Like right now, it doesn't cost you anything to train your army anymore. How are you guys liking that?
May I jump
Uh,
in, Fado?
yeah, go for it.
So I have a Town Hall 13 that I'm trying to go free to play. I actually bought the gold pass this month just to move things along a little quicker because of no troop training costs.
Mhm.
You know, I don't farm with a farming army. Like I'm not doing sneaky goblins. I'm fighting with my war army, so it's expensive. But I like the practice, and I'm doing I'm back to Queen Charge Dragon Rider
Mhm.
with that, and so not having to spend the dark is exciting. I feel like I might actually get those heroes done before Town Hall 15 comes in the fall, if it comes in the fall. So I like it for the lower accounts. I don't know what it really does for the uppers again. It just Town Hall 14 has been excuse me, and Max Town Hall 14 has been ignored again, I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
Plato?
I think I went 7+ years of the cheapest armies possible to farm, whether it was Arch, giants and goblins. Or once super troops came, it was sneakies all day with
Mhm.
some
Yeah.
jumps and invis, like super cheap. And only until I had an account go to Legends, meaning once I finally maxed an account, that I started, playing with expensive troops again outside of war. And so in a way, it's kind of like, well, I don't get it. Like it didn't help me because one of the nice things too about Barch and Sneakies is that you can train an army pretty darn quickly. Like
Mhm.
Peter, when you're talking about doing your regular attacks with Dragon Riders, like good grief,
Oh
like
yeah,
you're
it's
you're
40
waiting
minutes.
forever.
Yeah.
And with Sneakies too, when they have like the small troop space denominations, you can get away with like, well, I got all I think I can get from this base, only using like 45 gobs, so I'm ready to go like all over again.
Right.
Mhm.
Whereas with Queen Charge Dragon Riders, you have such a smattering of troops that you can't just be like,
It's a full
yeah,
commitment. I agree.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and the queue isn't smart enough to be like, well, his queen got wasted somehow at the very start of the Queen Charge, which is me basically anytime. But then it'll pick up like the next 70 troops worth of space from your
Mhm.
queue, and not the 5 healers. So like then it kind of becomes a juggling act, and you kind of do have to use like the full boat.
Agreed. How about you,
Mhm.
Kat?
Yeah, I'm enjoying that particular change on my accounts where I am farming. But on my max 14, I'm thinking, okay, well, why am I bothering to buy the gold pass
Mm-hmm.
other than the 1 gem donations and the token skin at the end? Because my storages are full from last month's gold pass. Now they're overflowing. So I'm not earning anything in the treasury, right?
Right.
For the gold pass because I can't spend anything and empty my loot storages other than using it for the capital. And I would love to see them reduce the forge times a little bit. 3 days is too long.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess with time versus resources too, like going back to the army, time
Mhm.
was always the limiting factor, never
Yeah,
resources weren't a factor since like TH4 or 5.
right. Yeah, I just find, I would love to just sink all my loot into the forge to help upgrade things on the capital. But unless I want to use those precious blue potions nonstop, then I can't. I can't empty my
Yeah,
storages. And there's no blue potion available with your capital medals. They were very clever about that. You can
Yeah.
get pretty much anything else as far as potions, but not the blue potions.
yeah, can't
So,
gem a building in the clan capital, can you?
No.
I never even thought about that. But no, you can't.
So,
So,
back to I'm just throwing the monetization ideas at Darian. I mean, come on. Throw me a bone, give me a free name change, please.
or even, for the builders over in, well, there are no builders, but the upgrades over in Clan Capital, it would be nice if you had like a potion that you could use over there specific to that base, perhaps.
Oh yeah,
To
and where
speed.
we're at, it's getting grindy. It's
It
getting
is.
really grindy.
Yeah,
It's
the
taken a
numbers are
lot.
large.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can we just jump back to the farming armies, Fado? Are you still using farming armies because they cook so fast, or have you found that you're now using war armies?
Thank God that this is not a webcam type discussion. You would have seen my reaction. So, my enthusiasm for Clash right now is pretty low,
Uh-huh.
and I have nothing to farm. Like my TH13 has like 1 giant bomb, a seeking air mine, and 4 air bombs, and it's a max
So,
13. And
yeah,
Mhm.
you're ready.
I'm looking at this thinking, I don't feel like taking it to 14. I really don't. If 15 drops, then all this stuff will come back and play, and I'm excited. If I'm excited by 15, I'll start farming them both. Like this will be the
Yeah.
first month in a while that I didn't buy a gold pass on my 13 because there's just no
Mm,
reason to. It's
Mhm.
max, and I don't need it to donate troops because of the next agenda item, and
I
that
want.
is the super troops donations.
That's right. Super troops. You can now donate any super troop that you have access to, even if you don't have that one activated. So, when this is such a bonus for when you're filling War CC and Peter wants
Mhm.
rocket loons and no one
Peter.
has them unlocked. I can gem those for him.
So yes, this is exactly what we've been asking for, right? But it is
Yeah.
a double-edged sword because now it used to be we as co-leaders could say, well, I'm going to be a little bit selfish this month and I'm going to rent myself Sneaky Goblins, or this week
Mhm.
or this 3 days. I'm going to rent myself Sneaky Goblins so I don't have super minions. Maybe someone else in the clan can step up. Well, now I look at a CC and it's like, well, I've seen it. Now I feel obliged to fill it because I
Mhm.
can. So I don't know. It's kind of a double-edged sword. It's put the onus back on the people that feel responsible for filling CCs. And if you don't feel responsible for it, well, then this is no factor for you. But for leadership, I think it's great. This is exactly what we asked for. I'm now
Yep.
seeing, you sometimes get more than you wish for.
Yeah, and I mean, even if it's costing us more gems in order to partake of this exciting change, but yeah, I this is something that I'm really happy with. So glad that they listened to the community on that one. Flame Flinger nerf. Have you guys noticed any change on it, and has it changed how you attack?
Well, not to steal Itsu's thunder, but he was like, "This is not a big difference." I don't use it enough. Like there are other people that use it a lot more that might be able to tell a difference, but
Hmm.
from like spectating, you can tell there's a little bit of a nerf. I think on the attacking, something about the attack was nerfed a little bit. But really, the problem with it that really needs to be addressed, as far as I can see, feels like the range of it is too big. But that's also like the people that use it and love it, and believe me, when I use it, I love it for this reason that it's safe from so many things. Um,
Hmm.
but it feels like it's, in a way, it's the two different games aspect where the pros using it are just, their hit rates are stupid high, and they're already stupid high, but now they just have even more. But it has helped the, for lack of a better word, amateur or casual, whatever you want to call people like us. It certainly helped. But the people I've seen using it in our clan are still like, they don't seem to be terribly impacted by it. Um, so I guess that's a good thing, not a major change. But
Hmm.
I wonder if they were looking for more of a change.
I am still using the Flame Flinger with the Queen Charge Dragon Rider, often on another corner. What I found, and I think Lolly mentioned this too, that after burn, like the burn is longer now, it seems to
Hmm.
burst walls
Yes,
where it
I've
didn't
noticed that.
before. And
Yeah.
so occasionally I end up with some symmetrical ring base. And, you just kind of have to pick a corner. And there's, of course, an Expo on both or all four corners. And there's a mortar on all four corners. So I often go queen ahead of flame flinger and let the flinger kind of work one way and the queen works the other, just to kind of crack one corner of the base open. And it opens walls like mad, so much so that you can almost send the king in to get that extra edge. So
Yeah.
everyone's calling it a nerf, and I guess it is a direct damage nerf, but boy, actually, I think it might actually have improved the way it kind of opens the base, especially in tight compartments.
So it's actually a burf.
It's a burf.
It's a nerf and a buff. It's a burf.
The perf.
Okay, Valks and Super Valks. Those got a buff for troops. Has anybody played around with those?
All right. I guess you know the answer. Pre-show meeting, showed my cards, and
Tell us about it.
yeah, and so I ran it a little bit like hybrid, um, with the
Ah.
siege barracks and everything, and
Mhm.
one jump, and I had middling success. It always comes down to keeping your queen alive as long as you can, because it's interesting. I think the what we're used to, what we remember from TH9, Valks, TH10 with the Falcon,
Mhm.
like they would rage blast through those walls, and
Yeah.
it feels like they struggle a lot more with the walls at TH14,
Hmm.
because it still comes down to like the old, what did Jake call them? The crazy redheads. Like you can't control them. You have to have a great funnel and get them going right where you want them to succeed.
Mhm.
And that's where, like, I think they're still the walls is the big, the walls is the main issue. The walls is all right. Super grammar, dude. USA. So walls being the biggest issue for them and unlike hybrid, which just
Yeah.
no walls at all, basically.
Yeah, I think like regular Valks in particular are still a little bit squishy at 14. They can't take a lot of damage from the defenses that would be hitting them. I haven't played around with Super Valks at all, but I hope to eventually, but they might be a little bit more viable at some of the lower towns.
So Super Volks aren't a heck of a lot tankier, right? The new level or the new max level for Volks is 2,000 hit points, and a new Super Volk is only 2,900. So it's not a ton more. I mean, it's a giant's.
Oh, but you get the rage the size of a penny.
True.
American penny. I don't know the size of the pennies up north, but
We our penny's been discontinued. It was so valueless, they just discontinued it.
So there you go. You have you the extra 12 troop space for 900 extra points and a mini rage.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I guess like though the difference is with a 20 troop space, they cannot be sprung at all, can they?
True.
Yeah, I think that's going to need a little bit more experimentation. I might try them on maybe my 12 or 13.
I keep waiting for a content creator to show some kind of crazy thing, either Big Veil or Sir Moose, maybe.
I watched a more obscure content creator who I think I've shouted out in the past, where I got the idea for it.
Okay.
Hooked at a video, hooked a Clash in the last day or two about it. And
Okay,
that's
good.
where I basically copied what he was doing, and but again, like he's a really good player, but he wasn't having a heck of a lot of success with it. It was mixed. He had a
Yeah.
triple and a time fail, but there was another one that looked like I was pushing the buttons.
That's why you like them.
All right, let's talk about some summer stuff here. July generally brings Clashiversary to us, and I would expect that since most companies in Finland close in July to give their employees a vacation time with their families, that we will see some kind of little special mini update this week. And there were some items leaked.
Yeah, we have that birthday cake with looks like the barbarian popping out of the middle with a big X on the top of that cake. That looks good.
Anniversary cake. And then there's a Goblin King tribute. They say that the size of the building is as big as a siege workshop, and it has supposedly 50,000 hit points, and it acts as a defensive building. So that one I'm kind of like, I don't know about that, but we shall see. And that might be in some kind of special event or challenge. I don't see that would be something that would be part of the regular game.
It can't. We're at 100 buildings.
That's true. And the Clash Fest statue, because they love giving us more obstacles for our base. And then there's something that resembles like an old style arcade, and apparently it has 10 events that you unlock to win rewards such as gold, elixir, and dark elixir, because we all need those as max 14s. And each level is based on a year of Clash. So starting at 2012 and working up to 2022.
Cool. The first thing is, can you sit through building a full dragon army at Town Hall 7? And it took 3.5 hours.
Oh,
remember the good old days?
Oh gosh, yeah, nothing like the golden cooking time. So goodness.
I like the idea that you have to complete a base to get the next base unlocked. That's a little more incentive to do those special bases. I don't always jump on, like the last one, the Itsu special base where the 10,000 Teslas, just because, I don't know. I forget what the reward was. Resource potion or something silly.
Yeah.
So I didn't even try, which is disappointing. I'm not participating, but complaining I'm bored. So I'm kind of my own worst enemy.
Not bored enough, right?
Yeah, that's right.
But the thing is, with those events, they're a lot of fun and they are challenging. However, what's your incentive to complete this? If it's a shovel and some XP, which nobody needs, 5,000
capital gold.
Yeah, make it something that we can use. Like, yeah, you're right. Give us some capital gold rewards or some blue potions or, something that as a max 14 or anybody could use capital gold. But give us something that's going to be an incentive is what I'm trying to say. Not a shovel
Not a shovel.
or
Resource potion.
yeah. It's just not enough. What else do you guys think that we can expect for Clashiversary? Usually they give us something kind of fun, like a special troop or something. Any ideas what they might throw at us this year?
The Super Royal Ghost.
It
Or the
never
giant
turns
skeleton.
visible.
Those two things were the best.
Oh yeah, I see. I always liked the party wizard every year. You know that
Yeah.
chain, and yeah, that was always and attack defenses. I don't know.
Yeah. I think that they should give us the option, like they should have every special troop that they've given us for Clashiversaries since they started doing that part, and let us pick and choose. Like, okay, you can only use one, but like, if you want to use the Royal Ghost, you can pick the Royal Ghost, and maybe you're limited to how many of that particular troop that you can take along for your.
Perfect. Yeah.
I
I mean, I hope they treat 10 as a milestone. It's pretty impressive.
you would think that they would. It's huge especially in mobile games. Like, not too many mobile games make it past 5 years, let alone 10.
Sure.
So, and we also have the July Gold Pass. So, new summer queenskin. Yay or nay? Do you guys like it?
I actually really do. It reminds me of, the 1960s James Bonds where the lady had the kerchief in her hair and the funky sunglasses. My mom would always buy the biggest pair of sunglasses when we went on vacation. So it just reminds me a lot of being a kid.
Yeah, I wasn't alive when those movies were released in the 60s, unlike Peter. But, it does kind of have like that old school feel to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like it. I like it a lot better than the Summer Warden for sure. And they have not dropped a new scenery. I'm expecting that there'll possibly be something special for Clashiversary because
Right. I hope they come up with something neat. That would be one to have. Yeah.
and probably a new challenge, but nothing hinted at yet as far as any of that stuff goes. Let's see, was there anything special in the July Gold Pass that jumped out at you guys?
To be honest, like I just habitually buy them on my Max account for the donations, like the one gem. I
Yeah,
didn't really check it out. I know the Queen's sitting there at the end, but like, it's been 6 months of having nothing to do with the,
yeah.
hero, the Book of Heroes and all that. So I haven't, I just look at them as gems.
Well, that's true, and I mean, you can't stack any of the stuff like the hero books or runes or anything like that when you buy the Gold Pass, which is, to me, that seems unfair because you're spending money on it to buy it, so you should be able to stack these on top of whatever you have collected in your resources. Like, if I have two books of heroes already, I should be able to, when I buy the Gold Pass, that should stack on top because I've done all the challenges to complete the Gold Pass, but yet I can't claim that Book of Heroes. I have to cash it in for gems, which is fine. It's 50 gems, but still, maybe I want to collect that Book of Heroes in anticipation of Town Hall 15.
Can you imagine how many books Carl would have now? He'll be able to do Town Hall 16 and 17 and 18 all in one day.
Limitless.
Limitless.
And speaking of max 14s, do you think all of us can hang on until Town Hall 15? We hear a lot of people talking about Fatal. Oh, and happy they are because there's been no love for the main village. So what's keeping the max players playing the game?
Their own communities is what's keeping people in it. Now, like the pro community has money to play for, but like I don't know, like I look at my phone and I look at all the apps, whatever apps I have, all sorts of besides like Clash, it's all a couple social things and weather apps and like
Mhm.
what does a dude my age have on there anyway? Like what else am I gonna do? So, but it's still like I was saying about, the person who had that 99% in the Capital Peak or the Capital Raid. That's the funny stuff that puts a smile on your face. And other people would be PO'd about it, right? But I was just kind of like, we both were like, game, whatever, you know. Let's all just have a laugh and laughing together and hanging out together. And I haven't been on Voice in ages, but all that stuff. It's a community And as
Mhm.
long as the community's there, I'll be here in some fashion.
Peter, how about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm exactly the same. I have my routine. I'm still in Legends. I still like the Legends challenge because they're more bases essentially, and you have to read them quickly. And I'm hit and miss. It is what it is. And when I get the triple, I don't ever know why it was different than the one right after. I really like the idea of being able to use raid medals to fill my own CC. So that's
Mhm.
it lets me play at weird times. Before work stuff, 5 o'clock in the morning before everybody really gets going, except for Lolly. She's always around, but
Yeah, but I mean that is a nice feature, and I know they are trying to make things a lot more player friendly. It's it's too bad it's taken them this long to do so, but it's kind of nice to see better late than never.
I'm worried
Yeah.
about what their real end game is if they are not, or they're just ignoring the max players, right? They're trying to get everyone to max. What is the point of that? Because I think the max players spend less than, say, someone who has a single account, who's a
Hmm.
Town Hall 9 trying to climb. They're going to buy gold passes. They're going to buy
The
the,
packs.
the specials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there have been a lot of packs lately, like a lot of specials with there's runes of gold and books of everything and all kinds of stuff. And you just kind of wonder, well, okay, that's great for as a max 14. I don't need any of this stuff, but yeah, I could sure use them on my lower accounts.
But
So
are you
nice.
buying those things on your lower accounts?
I didn't buy it on any of them on my second 14 because I just have walls left to do on that one.
Yeah.
I bought a couple of things on my 13 because I want to kind of move that along a bit more quickly. I still have quite a few defenses to do. So yeah, so I did buy a couple of things. So I guess time will tell. We'll see when 15 comes along sometime this fall. That seems to be what they're looking at, and we'll see what they give us. So let's move into shout outs. Pedro, do you have any shout outs?
Yeah, certainly want to thank anyone who's listening who welcomed us into their clans as part of the tour. That was a pretty fun experience. It was, cool to see what other clans were up to. What other clan, you see what you may take for granted on a day-to-day basis in
Hmm.
your own home clan. And you also get to see, clans that might take it more seriously than you, and then you put the pressure on yourself, and you see how you do. So that was a really, interesting way to get out of your comfort zone kind of time. Someone like Carl probably didn't struggle at all. He was probably,
In his glory, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm not the attacker Carl is, so it was a different experience for me. Another shout out just to, again, our clan. We have such a mature group of people and responsible and in general, they so self-managed, except for clicking a little reaction for CPWL every month, right, Peter? But other than that, no, it's crazy. There is never any drama. It's just a lot of good people having fun together.
So true.
Peter, how about you?
I'm gonna shout out Raz. He's my buddy in real life. He had this week off from work, but I think he had some real life stuff going on. I don't think he spun the SCWL and Darkthorn. He's got a lot going on. So my shout out is to him. Hope things improve. As always, a silver lining on the cloud. So keep smiling.
For sure. I'm going to shout out Ace. It's his birthday today, so happy birthday, Ace.
Yeah, happy birthday, Ace.
Happy birthday.
And we have something that was Peter's idea, P&T first. We're going to do some shade outs.
A shade out.
Yeah.
So instead of shouting them out, Fado, you're gonna give somebody crap.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And I'm
All
gonna
right.
start. I'm gonna start with Supercell. Please give us a bigger clan size. Redthorn is at max all the time. It's silly. The clan capital has really driven people to come to Redthorn.
Mhm.
The alts want in because again, the raid medals are valuable to the alts, the lower accounts, let's say.
Mhm.
So come on, just make the accounts or the clans bigger, and then while you're at it, make clan wars bigger in champs. There's no incentive anymore to be a champs 1 clan, so why not you
Yeah.
let us war with 30 and champs 3?
Agreed.
We're divided all the time, and especially a raid weekend. So
Yeah.
come on, Supercell.
Beto, you got any shade outs?
Well, I wasn't aware of this portion of the show, but I mean, I feel like had I a few minutes to prepare, had I actually read the agenda ahead of time, I would have known this was going to be lurking at the bottom, and I would have had a litany of bombs for Magnus or someone else. That probably Magnus. Um, no, but I'll start pecking away. I'll go through my Clash dossier and see what kind of dirt I have on people, and I'll be prepped next time.
Awesome.
So the shade is from me.
Hey.
Self-shade out.
Self-shade.
All right, I'm going to shade out anybody in Redthorn that didn't react on the sign up for SCCWL this month. Please
Thank you.
read Discord, check the announcements, make our lives easier.
It's
That's
every
my
month.
shade out. Exactly.
You just cost us a listener or two.
Oh no, we're down to one listener. On that note, thank you for listening. The CFF is a family of clans in games such as Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, and many of the other Supercell games. We love to provide content via podcasts and other media. You can visit the Clash Pals Discord to apply to any of our clans or to support our pods and events. As always, please send us your comments, ideas, and questions on Twitter at RedthornCOC or join the Clash Files Discord at discord.gg/ClashFiles.